Madam Chairperson, Commissioners, good evening. I'm Sharon Riley. My husband and I live at 5437 Greens Flag Lane. After a great deal of research on the South Wake area, my husband and I decided to buy a home there 4.5 years ago, moving there from our home in Florida. Much of our decision in selecting the South Wake area was due to information available on websites about the quality of life that included plans to protect natural resources, proposed greenways, and the continued improvement of the area since it was then, as it is now, one of the fastest growing areas in the country. I checked the Fuquay-Varina website this week, and they have recently approved 7,800 homes to be built in that area. Many of those homes are within a 2-mile radius of this beautiful park property that you are reviewing tonight. Why would you ever consider selling park property that is right in the middle of these approved developments? Do you really think that proposing the property several miles away as a substitute for this park is supposed to make us forget that this has already been approved? The property on the South Wake border is not what is being considered here tonight. What is being considered is whether or not the commissioners of Wake County can be taken at their word, and is their promise for anything valid. I heard the closing statements during the meeting of approval for the purchase of the property, and it was agreed that the property was being purchased for a park. It would be a good assumption that if you do not keep your word on this, there is no reason to believe that you will keep your word on anything else. There have been comments made for approval to purchase the park. There have been comments made after approval for purchase of the park that it was controversial, contentious, and questionable. I attended those meetings last year, and I beg to differ with that. During the meetings that were held to discuss the purchase, there were 2 people that spoke in opposition. Their opposition was not against the park, but it was, as often is the case, they preferred the funds be spent on a project that they were more supportive of. Everything about the meeting was cordial and very informative. Lots of time and effort had gone into providing the information presented at that meeting. I remember the auditorium being full of those in favor of the purchase, and the additional room had to be open for the overflow. And we were commended for being patient and exhibiting remarkable decorum. My husband and I, along with 68% of other residents in Wake County, voted to approve the bond for new parks, open spaces, greenway development in the county. The definition of surplus is an amount of something left over when the requirements have been met, an excess or supply over the demand. I contend that the requirements of park property have neither been met nor is there an excess of it in our county. I urge you to be a group of commissioners of integrity that are known for keeping their word and having the foresight to realize that this property is much needed as a park. Thank you.